Group by with where and order by. We just learned how to group data when using functions such as count. We looked at all the data in a table and then got a count of each value. What if we want to filter the data before counting it? For example, find the count of each last name that starts with the letter B. In SQL, we can do that. We can combine the where with the group by in a single query. The where is performed first to filter the data, and then group by groups on what is left. It's written like a normal query: select, from, where, and then group by. So let's see some examples. This is our example from an earlier lesson. It shows the last names and the count of each last name. All the last names are shown here. Now, what if we wanted to see the last name starting with the letter B? We'll need to put in a where clause for this. Do you remember how we might write this? Well, we're looking for last name values. That's the criteria that we want to filter on. Now, we said we want to filter on last name starting with B. So to do starting with kind of comparisons, we need to use the like operator. This is because the like operator allows us to do partial matches. And because we're looking for a specific string, it needs to go in single quotes. We're looking for last name starting with B, so we're putting the capital letter B as the first character. Then we want any number of characters to come after that, so we put a % as a wildcard, and then close the single quote. Now we can run this query. The results will show us all the different last names that we have that start with B and the count or the occurrence of each last name. Some names such as Bowman have 1, others such as Bailey have 2, and Berry here has 3 occurrences of that last name. Let's look at another example. What if we wanted to see the number of salaries over 100,000? We would write select, salary, and then count. From employee, because it's still the employee table, then we have our where clause, salary, then we want to see salaries over 100,000. So we have the greater than sign, and then 100,000. We can't put commas inside the values here, because Oracle will cause an error. Then we need group by, and the salary word as well. So let's run this query. We can see we have a list of all the salary values that are greater than 100,000 and then the count of those salary values. You might have noticed that the ordering of these results are not in any particular order. We can order our results after running this function. We simply add the order by clause to the end of our query. This is very helpful to find which value occurs most in tables. Let's use these queries here and add an order by. We have our last name query here. Let's add an order by, and then we're going to order by the count column. We need to specify the name of the column here in the order by clause. So we're going to order by the count column, but we want to do it in descending order. If we run this query, we can see the last names again and the count of each of those last names. At the top is the number 3, because that's the highest number from the count function, and it goes descending order in that column. So if you run this query, you can see that the most common last name is Berry. Let's do the same thing for this salary value. Order by, count, in descending order. If we run this query, we can see the most common salaries are 102,000 and 118,000, both with 4 occurrences each. So that's how you can use the where and order by clauses with the group by. Next, we'll look at grouping by multiple columns.